All right, welcome everybody to a Pioneer Masters Week 3 feature matches. I got Jack here with me. How's it going?
Uh, doing good, doing good. How about yourself?
All right. Looking forward to some very fair and honest mana bases this week. I imagine.
I do enjoy the fair and honest mana bases, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we got Dirk here playing green white deck up against Adam, and who we're about to find out what he's running over there. What's going on in his hand.
Yeah, so before this match started, Dirk made a judgment call that Adam's playing Simic, and he got both the colors wrong. So we see Adam here on a Rakdos deck. He's got a swamp. He's playing the Slide Runner. There's a Fell Stinger, a Scourge of Valkus, an Enthusiastic Study, which is the pump spell from Strixhaven that learns, and two more mountains.
Oh, interesting. I was so Dirk has exactly what you think he has when you pass with a white and a green mana up,
Selesnya Charm.
but he didn't cast it.
Interesting.
Maybe he wants to save it for a trick. He's got an Extricator of Sin also, and a Kabira takedown as well as a couple more basic lands. Yeah, so looking at
Okay.
the records here, Dirk's on 7-7, has a couple more packs than Adam, who's 6-5. So Dirk's closing out his week, and Adam is at the beginning to middle of the week here. Always hate to play Fell Stinger without getting those
Yeah, like
cards from it. But if you're
I
curving
know
out, you just gotta play stuff.
I know sometimes it's a correct play, but I'll often just not play the Fellstinger because I want my cards. Even if it's wrong, I like getting the full value out of the card.
Yeah, in my league match today, I cast Fell Stinger twice, and both times it was when my opponent was at 2 life. So I did not get to draw the cards. It was a small tinge of sadness attached to the victory.
Okay.
Yeah, down comes Loxodon on Smiter, which was a draw for the turn.
This Scourge of Valkus in Adam's hand, not like a super impressive card, but it will be able to pick off Ghostblade Eidolon just by itself.
Yeah, it gets slightly better this week in a two color deck where you're more likely to be able to realistically cast it.
Yeah. So I assume we're gonna see this +3/+1 trample spell coming through, which won't actually save his slide runner, but it's not
Oh, is that the one
really.
that learns?
Yeah, so he's
Okay.
not assuming he has a lesson to get, it's still, kind of a 2 for 2. Um
Yeah,
oh my
I
god.
mentioned before we started here. Yeah, doesn't he have the? Yeah, I was about to say,
Yes,
doesn't.
he has quite the
I seem
lesson.
to remember that he opened a mascot exhibition and people were up in arms.
So really it's not a 2 for 2, it's like a 4 for 2 because mascot exhibition just gives you 3 guys.
Yeah, I mentioned it before we started here that I've had like a bit of a weird experience with like Strix because like I have no Strixhaven cards in my deck, or like I opened no packs of Strixhaven and people playing the cards. It's kind of like last league where like I had virtually no call time cards or whatever set came after call time. I basically had nothing from that either. And people were playing snow lands and snow creatures. I was like, what? Where am I? What league is this?
We'll see if Dirk wants to pump this Eidolon.
Yeah, I don't know if a 1/1 double striker is worth fighting for. He's got a gnarlback Rhino in hand, so he can try and rumble with that with the Celestia Charm in hand.
And notably, this will get him closer to Delirium too by putting an enchantment in the graveyard.
Yeah, he did sack the land there in order to get the 3/2.
Yeah, I assume just nothing big in his hand that he needs the mana to cast.
Yeah, he's considering maybe just killing this Fell Stinger here, but
Just make. When does Extricator flip? Is it upkeep?
it's at the beginning of your upkeep. Yeah,
Then I mean I don't hate playing the Selesnya Charm, and
I mean
I
you
guess
gotta do something because there's kind of like a ticking time bomb over there waiting for you.
yeah. His two other cards in hand, he's got one more land, and then he's got a Witch's Mark. So
What is it?
seems
If I'm remembering, it makes a 4/4, a 3/2, and a 2/1 flyer.
yeah,
Is
it's
that
an
okay?
elemental, a spirit, and the Inkling, right?
Yeah, that was my recollection. It's been a while since I've seen that card, and I'm
Oh,
not particularly pleased to see it again. But luckily, it's
I
not.
mean
Luckily, I'm just a spectator and not a participant.
he's drawn a Planeswalker. It's the Jaya from War of the Spark. which -2 is to shock something, but not really shock something, because she does 1 extra damage. All your red cards do anyway.
Yeah, all your other red sources will deal an extra damage.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
unknowingly, Adam has made his Scourge of Valkus a target for Selesnya Charm here.
yeah, without removal, this is a 2-turn clock, which I think Adam just, will take any day of the week.
I
But
mean, yeah, you're supposed to like this. This is what you're supposed to do.
yeah, he has opened himself up to getting his Scourge of Valkus exiled.
He's wondering now if he just wants the Kabira takedown just to flip the extricator. I think he says no, I'm okay. I don't need to do that quite yet.
He doesn't really have anything that works for the extricator, but just having a 3/5 over an 0/3 doesn't seem too bad.
So he's seeing about okay. He's not going to attack this turn. He's going to hold this Lesson Charm. I'm not sure if Adam can do something about that. I mean,
No, he has the Jaya, and he's just drawn a Dragon Mantle,
okay.
so nothing to stop this Lesson Charm from going
Yeah,
off.
so he does have the Kabira takedown as well that can cancel the Dragon Mantle if it's on one
He,
of the smaller creatures, and I think he's probably going to do that. Yeah,
I think it makes sense.
says I'll deny him a card. Fine by me. Yeah, so I mean, Dirk's doing what he has to do to stay alive here by killing the dragon, but this mascot exhibition is just looming large, right?
Yeah, and this extricator's not gonna flip because Adam can just play the Jaya and -2 on it.
I think one of the things that was so upsetting about mascot exhibition was not like how strong the words on the card was, just the fact that your opponent could get it on turn 2 or 3, and then you're just staring at it for turns, just wondering what am I gonna do? Maybe they won't get to 7. Maybe I'll find a way, and then they play, and you're like, yep, it did what I knew it would do.
I sort of had the similar situation in a match this week where my opponent cast a Palaka Predation on my hand and saw an Ashen Rider, and they didn't take the Ashen Rider, but then it's just sitting there looming over them like, oh, well, they get to 8.
Yeah, that's a similar type of dread there.
So we'll see what Adam wants to do. I mean, he can minus and put Dirk to 1.
Yeah, well, he'll put him to 2.
Well, the Jaya does 1 extra damage.
It's only other sources.
Oh, does she not count herself?
Nope.
I see.
Does not count itself. So the Jaya is dying here.
Yeah. But okay. Good draw.
So,
I mean the mascot exhibition.
yeah, he's still gonna have a tough time surviving here.
Yeah, just putting like 3 more bodies on the board.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, so there's gonna be very few bad draws for Adam here.
Look, it's your boy.
Oh, there he is. That is a boy of mine. Yes. Yeah, very few bad draws for Adam. I guess a tap land would be not great, but
Yeah.
just last 2 draws here being lands not very helpful for Dirk. So he's
And
getting all the lands.
can confirm his draw, in fact, was not bad. It was a Dreadbore.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
that
well,
works.
that's a card that would make a lot of sense why Adam is playing Rakdos. He's just top decked to Dragon Lord Kolgon.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Pretty good card. I mean, it gets blocked by the Rhino here,
Yeah.
but I mean, Dirk has to block both the Giant and the Kolgon if Adam just plays it and swings out.
Yeah, he could do that. He could kill the Rhino, I guess, but it's not super efficient, but it sets up for the dragon next turn.
I think he's just slamming the Dragon Lord. Yeah.
Just force a trade and put him to 1. Yeah.
I mean, it's not the best of situations because Dirk can sacrifice.
Okay, interesting.
I think Adam recognized that Dirk can just sack the Rhino.
Oh wow,
and then
he's drawn kind of a hot piece of business here with the spinning wheel kick.
Ooh.
It's been a while since I've seen that one.
That's good. I mean, draw a
And
card,
draw
kill
a
two
card.
creatures, right?
Okay.
Seems good to me, right?
He's
I,
drawing
I
Gideon's Triumph, which also might come into use after. That's the one where your opponent has to sacrifice a creature that attacked or blocked this turn.
oh sure.
And now the tables are turned. I mean, Adam needs his land here. I mean, a Dreadbore
He's
will help him. Will be helpful, but
it's not a land, it's another removal spell though. He's trying an ultimate price. Um
so he can
what,
Dreadbore the Eldrazi then.
right, looks like that's what he's doing. It buys him a turn. But yeah, he really needs his land drop or else he's in
Yeah. So
rough
I
water.
mean, unless you're looking at your opponent's pool and you see they have no Sajiri Shelter or anything like that, I like. I guess here it means he doesn't get attacked. So this is like he doesn't get attacked by
Yeah,
the Leaf Crown.
right. The Leaf Crown Dryad doesn't
Yeah.
attack him, does it this way?
Yeah, that works. All right, so this is going to come right down to it here, but again, we see Adam does have the
Wow, I
difference
mean
maker
that's a
here.
very dangerous card on this board state. He's trying to Basilica Creature.
Okay, yeah, it just keeps finding doesn't find lands, but he keeps finding cards to at least push him forward.
And now any spell he can cast will kill his opponent.
Yeah, so we got a Lotus Eye Mystics, which can get back the Ghost Blade Eidolon in the graveyard. So it can
It's
add
not
two bodies to the board. It's not exactly where you want to be, but
it's not the worst, but at he's got to draw something to deal with the Screecher.
he does not have anything to deal with that. So he's gonna have to. He's gonna have to hope that Adam draws a tap land. I imagine, or
I mean, yeah, if he draws some untapped land, Dirk at least doesn't die, but he
no, but
still will
it's
pass
not looking
past
good.
that. Uh, yeah, there's very little situation here. Okay, he's drawn a spell that he can
Okay,
extort.
so Basilica Screecher wins again.
I'll tell Damien.
Is he the one that says the card's bad, or is he the one that says the card's good? I can't remember.
No, he hates it.
Oh, I like it. So
I'll show him my game with Wrath where I dealt 18 damage with the same Basilica's Creature.
sounds good to me. Yeah, so looking at Dirk's deck here has some pretty strong pulls into these colors here with Dragon Lord Dramoka, Linvala, a few others here. Yeah. What's he's got a Kithion as well. What's Adam looking at there?
It's pretty much what you'd expect out of a Rakdos deck. It's got good early game. I can't see how many Dreadboars he's got. But just some decent removal. His top end's pretty loaded too. He's got, we saw Scourge of Valkis, we saw Tithe, Bear Giant, we saw the Kolagon, but he's got an Ob Nixilis, the Hate Twisted. He's got a Swift Warkite up there in the top end too. So just, looks like to be a pretty assertive Rakdos deck with some nice top end.
Yeah, it's funny like looking through like the archetype descriptions for Pioneer Masters for Rakdos, it was just like mid range. Like that was the official. It was just like play removals and some powerful cards. It was like that's not an archetype. That's just a description of what people do in limited games.
I have never heard a combination of words more fitting for Pioneer than Rakdos midrange. Um,
Yeah, it
so
just that was the description of the deck. I was like, okay, very helpful, thanks.
so it looks like Adam, he's brought in something. I couldn't tell what it was.
Yeah,
Um,
I Dirk took out, I believe, then perhaps it was like Nemesis of Mortals, that big snake.
I'm sure.
He just figured, well, it just dies to everything, and it's big and clunky and doesn't have trample or anything. I think he just brought
Yeah,
in something slightly cheaper, if I recall.
that card just like is kind of just clunky outside of green black. Except I don't really want to be playing green black this format.
We got a pretty okay hand here. What's Adam looking at?
I'd be able to tell you if it's stream loaded. There we go. It's it looks like it's a bit laggy on his end. I don't even think it's a stream. I think it's just arena client just being a bit slow.
Yeah, the game does that now and again.
Messaging Dirk that he's cited in the Simic. He's got a one-lander. He's gonna have to ship this one. This is better. So he's got 4 lands, and he's got a Dragon Mantle and Ultimate Price in the Kolagon that we saw last game.
All right, a little slow, but he can at least kill this hero Viroas that's going to come down on turn 2 if he sees fit. Yeah, so we got the hero. We have Selesnya Charm, Linvala, and a Swift Reckoning and some lands. So pretty decent starter here.
Yeah, seems acceptable. So Adam's drawn Reaver that he can play.
Yeah, like yeah, the War of the Spark. Like every time I see the War of Spark cards, I'm like, yeah, these cards are good. Like most of the cards I've seen, I'm just like, yeah, this set was strong. Also, I just like the set, so that helps too. But I find like the creature quality and like the planeswalkers are pretty strong.
I'm actually pretty happy I didn't take any more this week.
Okay.
Especially since one of the colors I'm playing is white.
Oh right, yeah. Well, forget that. Yeah, Grixis rules the day.
Yeah, if I'm in black blue, I'm probably pretty happy with my War of the Spark cards, but
Yeah, I think I got. I know I got a Kasmina Spellkeeper Weird and like I think one other card that's in my deck. But all right,
okay.
so this is sadly sort of asking to get blown out here, but
I mean, I think he'll let it resolve probably, and he's gonna have to decide right now if he wants to ultimate price, but it looks like he's going to.
yeah, there's no reason to allow this to happen. Yeah, just kill that. So you paid 3 mana for a 1/1 lifelink, which is not a great use of the turn, but yeah, the ultimate price out of hand, but Dirk doesn't have any like big follow up plays here. He's got a Linvala on 6, but that's not happening just yet.
I mean, Adam doesn't have a ton going on either. Like we said, he's got the Kolagon, and he's drawn a Boundary Lands Ranger for turn, but the rest of his hand still stands. So he will be able to cast the Kolagon on curve, but he doesn't have a ton going on until then.
Yeah, every time I see Boundary Lands Ranger in play in this set, I'm like, this was an uncommon in like a
Yeah,
recent set. That's my
it was.
thoughts. Hello. Yeah, I mean it's a fine card though.
I don't mind it as a 2-drop, even
It's
in decks like it's obviously meant for Gruul, but I don't like hate it in other decks.
yeah, it's completely fine. I just like I'm looking at it, I'm like, this was yeah. I'm like just feels more like a common, but so yeah, so he just plays unfortunately just like a 0/3 with no text here, which is not where you want to be, but you also don't want to be attacked. So
Yeah, Adam.
and
So
he's not
actually,
going to have anything to sack anytime soon either. So it was
I'm
a heads up play to
actually
just realize I'm never going to get a 3/2 out of this.
Adam actually sideboarded in this Rogue's Passage. I don't know if he just chose not to include it in his deck um, at the start, but it was a card he boarded in.
Wait, there's Rogue's Passage in this set?
Uh,
I didn't even know.
is there? I think so, right?
I know it's in Foundations, but okay. I mean, I trust it's legally in his pool. I,
I also trust it. Yeah,
I
it's in
guess I
Fighting Rest.
haven't come across it, or I just don't see it in booster packs. I'm like, yeah, no, it's not even there.
So, I mean, Colgan's just gonna come down here. He's trying to Bloodhound Harvester, but
Yeah, I
he's got
mean, so what
Dragon.
Dirk can do is he does have like two actual answers in his hand to Call again,
Okay.
so he can take the damage and then just kill it. Yeah, no need to block it here. He has Swift Reckoning and Selesnya Charm.
Oh, sure.
So I don't know why he's GGing here. That's Dirk doing Dirk things, I guess.
If I know Dirk, that's about what I expect out of him.
We're just GG in the middle of the game, He's at least consistent with it with doing
Uh,
that. So
very good contact him here. Who didn't have an answer to Limbala until he drew for turn.
oh,
Uh,
he read my mind. He's saying he misclicked GG. He was meaning to click on some other nonsensical cartoon.
not toxic. I mean, I don't know about that.
It's okay. We're enjoying ourselves. He's enjoying himself. Hopefully, Adam
Yeah,
is enjoying himself. So
he knows how to put on a good show. That's for sure.
yeah, everyone's having a good time here, except
Okay.
for Dirk getting killed by a Basilica Screecher trigger last game.
So there's not any trick here. Adam just was getting the free damage.
Interesting, he just didn't block. I don't know why he's valuing this 0-3 so much. Like he could have just blocked. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he's like thinking that there's a Rimrock Knight or something, but Adam, he's gonna just redboard the Slavala.
Yeah, it makes
Um,
sense. Yeah, now Dirk's kind of not gonna got too much going on.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Adam wants to hold this. The only card in his hand is a land. It'll be interesting to see if he's going to loot that away or hold his Blood Tithe for like a removal spell.
So he does gain delirium now. So
It's a good point.
that is something with the creature going into the graveyard.
I mean, Extricator at this point is more like flipping it is just good for the body versus the effect. At least you just get a 3/5 out of it, and 3/5 looks pretty good on this board.
Okay, he's drawn this Ghostblade Eidolon.
Oh, jeez. All right.
That's problematic. Yeah, okay.
A lot of damage. So I think Adam's probably going to have to loot his blood away, just find an answer.
Yeah, on a vigilance creature, this is kind of a problem here. He just absolutely must find a removal.
Pretty much. And having to burn, like, he had a top deck removal and then burn it on Linvala.
Yeah, he's losing like half his life here essentially.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, more or less. Yeah, I mean that's the upside of Ghostblade Eidolon. The downside is all the other times that it's in your hand when you can't do exactly this. You're just looking at it, you're like, oh, so
Unfortunate.
I have to tap out to put it on a creature when they have open mana, or I have to play it on turn 3 as something that just trades with anything. But
I
when
haven't
it's good,
actually,
it's real good.
I've been enjoying it in my pool, but
Okay.
not only I don't have that many packs, but I have 2 combat professors, so I'm kind of happy to just like run it out on 3 and then just like start pumping
Yeah,
it.
vigilance. Vigilance is big.
Vigilance and +1 power at that.
Yeah, vigilance, like with the way they design sets now today is like more assertive and aggressive. Like things like vigilance and lifelink, I find are like better than ever.
Oh yeah.
Like people used to say like like what's the best keyword like flying or like double strike or stuff, and I'm like I think lifelink and vigilance are like possibly better now today, though in the way that they design limited sets than flying because it lets you attack and either block or erase.
Right. I mean, this is a really good draw for Adam
Five
because
there,
it
yeah.
finds a card and it allows him to loot the 2 mountains of his hand away.
Yeah, still can't block this thing
Okay.
effectively.
I mean, he has a solution to it
Okay.
now. He's drawn one of his enthusiastic studies, so he can chump this turn on Boundary Lance Ranger. Next turn, he can attempt to pump his giant and block. He's also
Well,
trying to he's trying to stab wound too,
okay.
which will help out.
Dirk's got a leaf crown dryad, so he can make this even bigger if he chooses.
Yuck.
Okay, he's actually not bestowing.
I don't think he needs to yet, right? Like it's lethal um without the Dryad, so
Yeah, it's
I
just
guess
good. It's just good to have it on the board. Like if the Eldrazi dies, he gets 2 creatures then.
right. Oh, I mean that works. He's actually just drawn Fall of the Hammer, so he can just pump his giant and then fall. But he might be worried about Dirk holding up a bunch of mana.
Yeah, we got nothing, just the plains and the leaf crown. So it's safe, but obviously Adam doesn't know that.
I think at this point you just have
And
to.
if it doesn't work, there's a good chance he just dies.
I mean, notably, this play also just sets him up to play Mascot Exhibition next turn.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not going to do it now. I assume he's just going to do it on blocks.
They're both instant speed, yeah, so no reason to do it yet.
Yeah, he's just thinking he if there's a reason to, and I don't think there is. So
He's opened up Dirk's graveyard and is hovering the Selesnya charm that he knows about, wondering if there's any more.
mm, yeah, that is something to think about. If he was inclined, he could go find out if there's more. But
I mean, he is taking a minute. He might be looking.
yeah, I mean, in a game this tight, sometimes you do go check to see if there's something
No shame.
or how many cards to play around. And in the meantime, Dirk's gonna click his dog pet and have it jump around. Oh, it changes colors too.
Oh, so it does. Yeah, so he's just gonna Adam looks like he might be swinging.
Huh.
Kind of interesting. I guess
Well, that could really go wrong then. But I mean, obviously we know it.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean he's got combat.
Dirk's like, what is going on here?
Yeah. So he's just gonna go ahead and fire it off now, I suppose.
Yeah, so
Um
Dirk gets to retain priority because of this extricator of flash ability that can sack other non-land permanents.
I think it only sacks creatures.
Uh, oh, I thought it was you sack a non-land permanent, but I could be
No,
wrong.
no. The Executor of Flesh, I believe, can only sack creatures.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, so just
Okay,
gonna go ahead and fire the hammer. But this actually kills him, right? Because Dirk's got that Leaf Crown Giant in hand that he can now just bestow and swing for
yep.
3 double strike.
So holding the leaf crown ended up. He's yeah he put out the hero Virolis here just as a feeler just to see if that was priority, and holding the leaf crown ended up paying dividends here. So good play to hold on to it, and now he got the lethal damage, and mascot exhibition has still been cast 0 times so far.
We've seen it twice and it has been cast not once. It's like that feature match I played with Chandra where it just rotted in my hand for a while. So
Oh,
maybe we'll see the same story where Adam gets to finally play his mascot
okay.
exhibition
So
a bit
Adam's
later.
thinking he was a little too greedy there with the attack. Maybe he should have held it back and try to do that on defense.
It's it's risky too when you're playing against the Selesnya deck. That's like the
Yeah,
pump spell
yeah,
callers.
there's just there's like looking at his deck. He has giant growth. He has leaf ground giant. He doesn't only have one Southern Charm. He has two boon satyrs. Like there's so many things that could have pushed that into lethal. Artful
Yeah,
maneuver. Like there's many like there was many cards he was just dead to from the top of the deck. I don't know if he
yeah.
looked at the pool and came to that conclusion, but even if he didn't, you assume Selesnya has a way to pump a creature by two,
And
and
if Adam
he has a
survives
bunch of
that
them.
turn and just slams mascot exhibition, he's like in a prime position to take over that game. You just have to make it through that turn.
Yeah, again, obviously didn't know about the pump, but like against Selesnya, you always have to be wary of pumps.
Kind of an interesting hand here. So actually, he doesn't have a red source, and he's got an uncastable Angrass Rampage and a Jaya's Greeting. But the reason he's kept the hand is he's got a Lifebane Zombie, which is the
Okay.
exact opposite of Dirk's deck.
I mean, you just play Lifebane Zombie all the time anyway, and then when you play against this one, it just is basically thought seize your opponent.
Yeah, does feel pretty good.
Yeah, it
He's
feels
trying
it feels
to.
actually like insanely gross
I
that
mean,
he's
his
just
other
gonna like rip a rhino out of his hand. Like feels really good here. Yeah, so
and good damage. Um,
we saw the mulligan for Dirk here. He had to send away two forests and a bunch of white cards, and ended up with a hand with Kithion and Gnarlback and lands. But his hand's getting a bit of a downgrade here.
it's. I mean, like he does get to eat the Snarlback, but Adam's two draws have been another swamp and another red card, so he actually also can't cast any spells.
Yeah,
So he's really got to find his red source now, where he's kind of in a pickle.
yeah. We got spinning wheel kick off the top here, which
No,
might
Adam,
later do some damage later. Huh.
don't do it, Adam.
Yeah, not everybody's read all the words on Kithion. There are a lot of words.
All right, well he had it the whole time. Definitely has mountain for sure.
Hmm.
So I mean, Angrath's Rampage is a pretty clean answer to Kithion getting through the indestructible.
Yeah, you could give it indestructible in response, but not much
Again,
not much will come of that.
um, yeah, and this unlocks it unlocks the Angrath Rampage, it unlocks Jaya's Greeting, and it unlocks an Acroan Crusader that isn't really going to do anything with his hand, but maybe he'll draw some way to target it.
Yeah, Angrass Rampage. I mean, obviously, like better than your average edict, but still not great. And don't worry about it. The rhino, like that.
That's funny.
My saying about hand disruption is you can't thought seize the top of the deck. So
I played a match against Sawyer this week, and I Polacca predation him, and he top decked Enter the God of Turtles.
Yep, that was like, oh, in the last league I was playing against. I took a Alenda out of Damien's hand with a Pilfer, and then he drew another Alenda the next turn. Like,
Um,
okay. It was divine that I would never win that one.
this isn't great for
Yeah, yeah.
Adam.
Does he have a way to kill this right now? Because now there's a Selesnya charm and a spinning wheel kick in hand to pile more damage and draw more cards. So the Rhino's going to run away
Yeah,
with the game if he doesn't find something here.
he's gonna play a Dragon Mantle that he drew. His only other card in hand is a Gurmag Angler besides the land and Jaya's Greeting.
Yeah, that
Wait,
that does not run away with the game.
it's not.
That does not
Uh,
answer this either. So
yeah, he can't cast this Gurmag Angler this turn because he opted to cast Dragon Mantle instead.
mhm. Okay.
I mean, if Adam doesn't find an answer to this, and like probably next turn, from what I've heard about Dirk's hand, he's probably just dead.
So spinning wheel kick is for 6 mana. You kill two things, right?
Right. You can do it's XX green green, so if you
Yeah.
pay X is 2, it'll cost 6.
Yeah. So he could do that. He also just has the Selesnya charm for even more damage. Okay.
Remind me,
Adam says I can't beat this thing, so I'm just gonna attack all and hope that opponent does not have multiple pumps here.
does Jai's greeting do damage to any target, or is it just a creature?
Giant's Greeting is 3 damage to a creature.
I see.
I don't
Okay, so
think it deals damage to a planeswalker, even though it was in War of the Spark.
got it. So there's no way he can sneak 3 extra in.
Yeah, no, it doesn't deal damage to a planeswalker,
I see.
even though it was in that set.
I mean, the Adam's kind of only hope here is either draw removal or erase, and the wheel kick's gonna, shut down one of those.
Yeah, so
Uh,
Dirk's just deciding here if he wants to fire off a pump spell, but probably not.
doesn't
He has a Colony Ambush as well, so he's got multiple ways to target. I think he said, "I'm just going to wipe 2 creatures off the face of the planet here."
Yeah, I mean, you leave Adam with a 1/1, right? What is he gonna do with that?
Yeah, he's hoping no removal. I mean, if there was removal, Adam would have probably used it already. So
Yeah, he does have removal. It just isn't removal that can hit Gnarlback
yeah.
right
So
now.
once again, if the Rhino doesn't go away, Dirk's pretty much guaranteed to win next turn between Artful Maneuver, Selesnya Charm, and Colony Ambush in his hand.
Yeah, so
He's gonna find enough damage.
yeah, Adam's got this Gurmag Angler,
Yeah,
but that
that's
doesn't even matter
nowhere near
because
enough.
from what I hear, Dirk can just pump this Gnarlback Rhino to enough to get through both of his creatures and 4 damage.
Yeah, he can exile the angler as well. So
Oh,
it's all bad here for Adam. We might be coming to the end here. He's even drawn a Gideon's Triumph. So like every card in his hand just massacres every block. So there will be a lethal attack here. Just
yeah,
depends on which series of cards Dirk wants to play.
maybe all of them.
So here's one. We'll draw a card. So what does Adam have anything? No.
He's just holding the Jai's Greeting, which won't save him here.
He could cast it.
He certainly can.
Right, so he's wondering which of my cards am I going to use here. So he said, I'm going to do Colony Ambush. This actually is going to
Yeah, that's
this is
bad.
actually going to backfire. He
That
needed to do one of the other ones. Wait,
Yeah, this actually opens up his Rhino to getting Jai's ambushed or Jai's greeting.
yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so he needed to choose the Selesnya charm.
Yeah, picked the wrong one.
He says he good gamed, but then Adam good
So
gamed, I think, to say like usually like before you concede, but now he's
uh I
didn't
think
realize it
he
was a fight.
I think he thought it was like a clear shot.
So all of this could be avoided by just never pressing the good game button. You see, you could never get into the situation.
Okay, so somehow our game is still going.
Yeah. Okay. So
I mean,
unlikely series of events that leads to the game continuing, and he's just going to play another creature, and he does have the Selesnya Charm in hand and the Gideon's Triumph to combine to hopefully be able to win next turn, but we'll see
I
what Adam
mean,
can come up with.
good draw for Adam. His life total's in a bit of danger, but like this does find him more cards. Okay, I mean it's just another land, so he's
Yeah, so
still
the Selesnya Charm gives trample, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
he's
so
still.
so he wins for sure here.
I mean, we did say that last turn and where we are, but
Okay,
it does seem pretty inevitable
yeah,
here
because
that
he can just +2/+2 trample on the big thing, and then or well, actually on either, and then just Gideon's Triumph.
just whatever. I mean, whatever blocks the human, you just +2/+2. Well, just Celestia Charm does give trample, right?
Yeah,
I,
I'm fairly certain.
I think that's right.
I haven't cast too many of them.
There
All right, well, this should do it here. I think we're past the point of it not working.
we
He even has a Chukai Preserver in hand, which can channel a counter on each of his creatures. So
Yeah.
it was going to work out this turn. So the win was delayed a turn, but it ended up with Dirk being victorious at the end of the day. So congratulations to him, and we'll be back later for our second match of the week.